Hey, it's Ducky, and in today's video we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing some fan art. I haven't really done much fan art before, so let's get into it. It's no secret that I have recently watched Arcane and fallen in love with it. For such a long time, I was so uninterested in it because why the hell would I want to watch a League of Legends TV show? That sounded boring as hell to me. Then, of course, I saw all the Jinx cosplays and I thought they were cool, but I still wasn't that interested. Then I think more over the last year and a half, I've seen so many artists raving about Arcane and the art style, and the bits and pieces I saw did pique my interest. Then I was looking for something new to watch and it came up and I decided to give it a go. And I'm so glad I did. It was incredible. The storyline, heartbreaking and intriguing. It wasn't predictable, it was unique. I mean, maybe if you knew more about Jinx's lore, then maybe you would be able to predict it, but I don't actually know where this sits in the timeline of the game and if this lore was there before the show. But it's not just the storyline, the atmosphere, the character design, lighting, art style changes. It's all just breathtakingly beautiful and so well done. It's rare that I feel truly immersed in anything that's animated, but I truly did. I love the contrast of the opulent upper class and the cyberpunk grungy rundown lower class, and all the neons going through the dark murkiness. Incredible. I think my favourite character design, and I think that's the same for a lot of people given all the cosplay, is Powder or Jinx. I love the way you can see the character change through their design. The difference between Powder and Jinx as they grow is so fascinating. You go from bright-eyed happy child at the beginning to a sad manic teen / young adult. I'm not entirely sure of the age frames, so I decided to draw Powder and Jinx. So I normally use thick, heavy line art in my art, but I actually didn't do that with this art. I chose to use coloured pencils to make my line art for this piece because a lot of the Arcane faces don't really have much intense line art. All of the shapes are made up from different brushstrokes of different colours, and I'm actually pretty happy with how this turned out in the end. I normally am not a fan of any art that I make that is lineless. Maybe it's a testament of my skills improving, or maybe it's just because I had amazing references to go off of. I have made this art piece in 3 layers. First, you're seeing the foreground elements, which are showing the difference in art and doodles that Powder and Jinx did. You can see similar elements in both, but Jinx's are a lot more angry, quick, and just manic looking in general. And I think, in ways, more juvenile looking, whereas Powder's is a lot calmer looking. Then I went on to the main focus of the piece, the midground, powder and Jinx's portraits. I started with powder. I've been using my Uhuru markers for both the foreground elements and the portraits, and I think the transparent nature of alcohol markers really lends well for this art style. My portraits have gotten really good out of nowhere. I don't do many, but I really enjoyed making these. I purposely chose a very happy frame of powder to contrast against a very sad frame of Jinx. I think the juxtaposition works really well in the end result. I think I really managed to capture the emotion on both these faces. I've always really struggled with giving my portraits specific expressions. Any expressions I've ever given my portraits have always been accidental, and often the opposite of what I was actually trying to portray. I know it's a lot to do with my skill set, but I also think being autistic might have something to do with it too. I struggle to recreate the right emotions on my own face, let alone on paper. I think Jinx is my favourite out of the two portraits, but I think I'm a bit biased as I love the smudged makeup and the messy hair look. For the background, I really wanted to make those neon colours pop, so I decided to go with black paper and used my acrylic markers for this. I actually ended up buying some new acrylic markers because I had forgotten that my light green Posca was empty, and I decided I'd finally got to a point where I didn't have enough Poscas left to really make any art with them. I desperately wanted to try acrylic brush markers. A full in-depth tryout review-ish video will be coming out soon. I will still of course use my current Posca markers until they are used up, so maybe you might see some more acrylic art coming up on my channel, not just alcohol markers now. I really like how the green layer came out on Jinx's side. It looks like smoke to me, a bit like the smoke bomb she uses, but the paint splatters on Powder's side look more like algae or something. It's not the end of the world as it's right in the background and won't be the focal attention of the piece anyway. I wanted the background to be messy and neon. I kept Powder's a lot calmer, and Jinx's really shows off those manic scrawlings you see everywhere in the show. My pink is obviously a lot more neon than my green or blue, but that's fine. On Jinx's side, I was trying to make the doodles look neon like in the show, so I put a white centre line in through all the drawings to give that neon glow effect. I was going to use my fine line white Posca, but that was completely dried up and useless. So I tried using my normal white Posca and it was too thick and was not going to look good. And then I remembered my white gel pen and that worked perfectly. However, trying to get the gel pen to work on the pink was not so easy. I had to do quite thick layers of paint for the pink for it not to be transparent, and the white just kept scraping up the pink. I very much gave up on the white lines looking perfect on the pink. I think this effect is still really good though. And with all that effort I've put in, it's all going to be mostly covered up by the Jinx Portrait anyway. I don't know why I put so much effort into the middle. And then the only thing left to do was to put all these layers together and see the final result. Okay, so here are the final pieces. I think they came out fucking incredible. I honestly can't believe I made these. Like, that looks like Jinx and powder. I don't know what to say. Clearly, I am a master artist now. That's all there is to it. Let me know which one is your favourite. I think Jinx has to be my favourite, but I love them both. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!